Hello and thanks everybody for your time and interest in order to listen these audios. So today we have a special guest. This professional is Marcelo Figueira, who is a professional that has been involved in urban planning and a lot of different topics related to that industry. And Marcelo, if you can just give me a little bit of an overview about your background. And first of all, thank you for being open to this interview, to this conversation between you and me. And I think your input will be pretty valuable for everybody that is listening right now. So thank you for your time. Thank you for being open to this. And
hi, everyone. And Carlos, thank you so much for inviting me. It's kind of a great pleasure to have this opportunity to talk to you about cities and the profession and related items. Everything that is related to cities really interests me. So we connect a while ago. I know about what you do, and I know you're curious about what I can do. So yeah, it's great to have this time to talk about those things.
Oh, that's great. I know that like in my intro, I was talking about a little bit of what are the best practice as an architectural industry, right? And I think urban planning is one of the most important topics, because basically you can just see the whole situation or the whole plan in the bigger scale, in the broad area. So I was thinking, well, if we want to do best practice, I think we need to start from a specific point. And in order to kind of just foresee the whole situation, it is even better that somebody is kind of looking the big scale, right? The master plan of the whole component. But maybe before we get down to business, I can remember the first time that we sat down and we discussed about your experience and my experience. You were talking about I can remember that, at some point we met each other. And when we were talking at that point in time, I was like, well, where, right? And it was pretty funny because I was cleaning my car, and all of a sudden, I just remembered you. Like, you were part of the committee of design of Edmonton, right? When I was giving the presentation for a new development in Edmonton City, and I can remember you like being part of that board. And I can remember you gave me a really good questions, and it was great that everything went well. But can you tell me a little bit more about what is those associations that you are forming part in order to just do better cities?
Yeah, so I'm one of the members of the Edmonton Urban Design Committee. We just say Design Committee. I'm actually past vice chair of the committee. The committee is it's a group of volunteers, so it's about 11 people from various backgrounds like architecture, landscape architecture, engineering, arts, industrial design. So the committee, it's appointed by council, and we do a lot of work to support council and city administration in reviewing development permits applications and rezoning applications and some city led projects. So any massive master plan that the city put forward, like for instance, Chinatown or the Jasper, new vision for Jasper Avenue. So all those like neighborhood plans that the city is leading. So it goes to the Edmonton Design Committee for review and input. But interesting that you talk about the big picture, because I just want to, I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm actually a civil engineer by trade. Like I came from Brazil in 2003, and I was a civil engineer. And as a civil engineer, you just see the small picture. Like it's really sometimes very to the detail of how things are going to work, right? The numbers, number crunching, and all the minutia of how actually put together like a building or infrastructure component, something like that. So I'm a civil engineer, and then I moved on to urban planning. Even before I came to Canada, I was working as a planner in Brazil because I'm from São Paulo. And then I think the big picture is really the most interesting that someone can see, like as participating in your community, right? So once you get a taste of what it means for yourself and for your peers and for people that live in your neighborhood, or your coworkers, your friends, your family, it's really hard to give up that opportunity to see the big picture. So I got in love with urban planning. That's what happened. And then I stopped being engineer. I value that education, but I use that education through my planning degree. And then and never stopped there. So from there, I went to get my master's in environmental design and get into more urban design related projects. So even like a big picture, that's where I got involved in master plans, plans, and then kind of culminated being appointed to the City of Edmonton Design Committee. So that's how I got there. So long story short, right? It's you can't get enough of looking at big pictures.
No, that's good. And I'm gonna just give a little bit of disclaimer here because my past interview, it was an actual professional from Passive House, and it was a Brazilian person as well. So I want to just tell everybody that I'm not being just biased for Latin American people because I'm Mexican, you're Brazilian, and my past one was Brazilian as well. So yeah, we're gonna have also a lot of Canadians. So don't get frustrated for that. So this wasn't planned at all, but it's a good thing that something that I find is, and what I've loved from Canada is that they provide home and resources for high skilled professionals that want to enhance the profession and the practice regionally. And this is pretty cool thing, right? So we can say that no, we are pretty proud to be part of this country as well, and for all the resources and the opportunities that are here in order to kind of improve the practice as well. So no, that's pretty interesting. That yeah, you were my second in line, and you're Brazilian as well, but that's a good thing. So talking a little bit more about who is Marcelo. So I understand that the company that you're representing is called GSA, which stands for Green Space Alliance. But before we get down into specifics about your company, so you're saying that you were a civil engineer in Brazil, but you came to Canada and you studied some further degrees in schooling locally, right?
Right. So I like when my last years in Brazil, like the last 2 years that I was in Brazil before I came here, I got involved into some developers, like big developers there. And that was my first contact from doing more planning. And there's no urban planning as a profession in Brazil. It's either like engineers or architects or landscape architects that pursue that kind of a stream into that profession, but there's no degree for urban planners. So when I decided to move to Canada, I said, well, now I want to pursue like proper education in this field. So the first thing that I did was I took a second degree in urban geography, which is urban studies, so kind of preparing for the planning. And then after that, I did my master's in the environmental design, which is a stream from the University of Calgary at that time that specialized in urban planning. So through the environmental design degree, I got the design skills and more of the social sciences skills for urban planning.
Right.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
No, that makes totally sense. So, and again, right, there is a part of all the professionals to enhance the skills, right, and always just get a little bit more of education. And never, you cannot go wrong with that, right? So, no, that's pretty good. So, now, can you tell me more about ESA? Can you define the company with your own words?
The company is eager about design. That's what we are. Like we, everything that we do is related to linking design and people, right? To where they live, where they play, where the things that you do in your neighborhood. So we use design as a tool, I think, to try to create better communities, better places, things like that. So I know a lot of people say, and I even put this in my LinkedIn, I like the expression city building, because like city builders, like what you do to cities and towns and villages. But at GSA, I think we're moving from city building to actually city making, because all that you do is actually to benefit who lives there, right? So all like buildings and that infrastructure, those things are secondary. Like it's important is how the people perceive the space and places. So that's our kind of our niche, and where we want to specialize is to be more like from city building to city making. Because if like there's a lot of examples, parks and plazas that are very well designed, and even buildings like in architecture, but nobody likes them, right? Like nobody kind of feel engaged with those places. It's just because there's no city making or place making, linking people to places. So we really want to stress that, yes, we have skills, we have expertise and education, but this is towards creating that link between people and what they're going to experience in the places that we design.
Right. So what are your basics in order to accommodate those types of principles in design in order that the people can go to those places? So it's basically, I'm thinking like a study of demographics, a study about what the tradition, the culture, I believe. What are the principles that you use in order to make these city making, right? So what you can say about it?
Okay, so there's not enough information. If like one thing is data and information, right? We have access, and like everybody today, we have access to a lot of data, but data is nothing if you cannot transform that data in information. So we try to collect that data and talk to people and say, okay, this is what we researched or we found. Now let's see how you feel about that data, and what information can you give me to help me with my design. So there is a link between what you can, as a profession, how much you can move forward until a certain point where you need that kind of input from people to make your design people oriented. I'm not sure if I explain myself enough, but I mean, there's a lot of things that, like, for instance, right now we're doing this through a video conference, right? So in this pandemic time, we had to learn about tools to keep the work going, right? So there's a lot of engagement online. There's a lot of video conference, but how do you do this to actually get information and transform that information into something that helps you with your design. So that's the key, right? So in all that we try to do is, there's technology, there's data, there's a lot of tools, but this is nothing if we don't connect with people and make that worthwhile to them in terms of information, informing what we do.
Right. And trying to looking at your wide portfolio, I was looking at the website that you have been involved on certain projects. One was Alberta Research Council Master Plan. Another one was Mill Woods Transit Oriented Development. Another one that was pretty intriguing to me, it was the City Cambros Downtown Area Redevelopment Plan. So can you just give me a little bit more of understanding about what consists this City Cambros Downtown Redevelopment?
So that was one of the latest plans that we did in 2019. We finished in 2019, started in 2018. It's a downtown plan. That was before I joined GSA, but one of the reasons that I was attracted to GSA is actually because GSA is very specialized in downtown planning. So why would a city invest in downtown, right? Like downtown need a lot of money for infrastructure. It's hard to keep sometimes the business going, but every city has kind of a key interest in investing downtown. It's mostly because downtown is where things happen, and if your downtown it's doing well, it kind of spill over the rest of the city. So in Camrose, there's a very nice main street that people that come from other provinces just to experience the retail that is available on in Main Street in Camrose. But outside that Main Street, you don't have that same vibrance. It's not like the same kind of feeling. So we use data and information and transform that data and information to create an environment or design an environment that would entice people to come to downtown. And with that kind of encouragement to come to downtown, it starts to create an effect where there's more economic development. So the end goal for the municipality was, well, we need to see what is the return of our investment if we're going to upgrade roads, build better sidewalks, put better lighting, create a central park, a plaza. So what's in for the municipality? Because we know that people are gonna say, well, this is nice, like this is a better environment, but then what, right? So then what means by creating that environment where people would like to come, then you're able to support businesses, like you're able to support restaurants and cafes and even like firms coming to downtown. And don't get me wrong, like we live in Edmonton. Edmonton is a city of 1 million people compared to Camrose is about 21,000. But the importance of downtown is the same, right? The impact that a great downtown area has to the city doesn't really it scale towards the size of the population. So it's very important. And in Camrose, like Camrose has a University of Alberta Augustana campus. So it's a city where there's a lot of students there, and the neighborhood where they live is very vibrant when they're there. But there's nothing for them to do once they're out of school, or they just go home to go back to their own towns and families. Or, and even during the school time, it's just like back and forth from the municipality. So there is community base where you can build upon to create a better, more vibrant community. And that's the spirit of this downtown plan. So that this downtown plan is going to allow for more people to come to live to downtown. It's going to allow for people to enjoy being there in different times of the day and the week. There are streets that are going to be closed. We they already close streets on some dates, but now they're closing more streets to allow people just to walk around and use the open space. And even more important during a pandemic is that you have that separation space between individuals. So one more reason why it's public spaces in large areas are important. But in summary, I think the municipality was happy because they see that they're going to there's going to be return of investment, and the residents see the benefits of something that they can enjoy, right? And then they can appreciate their downtown, more just the main street.
How do you like it so far? Thank you for being with us. If you want to know about the following part, just keep in touch and follow us for the next part of this episode. And please don't forget to leave me a review on whichever platform that you're using to listen in this podcast. Either good or bad. Remember, Mexicans have thicker skin. You won't hurt my feelings, that's for sure. And better yet, if it has some good criticism, so I can learn from it and improve it, that will be even greater. I understand this hasn't been perfect, but it can be better every time. I recognize your time is valuable. I would like you to enjoy this moment with me as well. Also, if you like what you get from this audio, I will recommend you to be the first to share this info with your friends, so maybe they can get something valuable from it as well. Thanks for listening, and let's meet again soon.